The pillar came down without warning. 800 pounds of marble. It killed 3 women from the harem, crushed them where they stood. I heard the sound their bodies made, and I will hear it for the rest of my life. Then the dust. Then the screaming. Hisham! Hisham!
The Caliph! Find the Caliph! Move! Move!
Oh God! Oh merciful God! No!
We dug through rubble for an hour. Stone and blood and silk. The guards were weeping. Farouk was on his knees, praying between sobs. We didn't find him. The commander of the faithful, 16 years old, was dead under 1,000 years of stone. That's what everyone believed. That's what I believed. I was wrong about that. But I wouldn't know it for days. And by then, everything had already changed. 3 weeks before the mosque, I was still learning where the knives were hidden. Let me tell you about the knives. Three weeks in the harem. Every morning, same routine. Copper mirror, razor, trim the beard just so. The beard was the most dangerous thing about me. It proved I'd gone through puberty intact, which meant either my cover story held, or I was a dead man. In the old caliphate, the harem had held 6,000 women. 6,000 concubines educated in music, medicine, poetry, warfare. Trained since childhood to be useful and beautiful and lethal. Now there were maybe 40, and they fought over one boy the way those 6,000 had once fought over his ancestors. Every faction had a woman inside. Every woman was a weapon someone else had loaded. And every single one of them had noticed the new eunuch with the thick beard and the strange accent.
Scholar, good morning. Sharp mind required today. The Sultana has plans for you.
Stop babbling.
20 years, Naseem. 20 years and you still haven't learned to say good morning like a human person.
My job is keeping people alive. Your job is talking until they wish they weren't.
You see, scholar, under all that misery, there's a comedian, buried very deep, possibly dead. But I keep digging.
Where are we going?
You've been here 3 weeks. You've earned the tour nobody wants.
What Naseem means is, we're going to show you exactly how doomed we all are. But he can't just say that, because Naseem has to make everything sound like a funeral.
It is a funeral. We just haven't picked the date yet.
See? Comedian.
They took me to a corridor above the training courtyard. Below us, 200 men drilled. Sakaliba. Slavic boys bought from traders who castrated them in Verdun and shipped them south like cattle. Raised inside the military from the age they could hold a blade. No family, no country, no memory of anything but this. I watched one of them break formation. Half a step. The tall man at the edge, blonde, blue-eyed, didn't speak. He looked. That was all. The soldier walked to the wall, knelt, and pressed his face to the stone. The drill continued without him. Nobody looked. Then the tall man drew a short blade, walked to the kneeling soldier, and cut him across the back of the neck. Not deep enough to kill, deep enough to scar. The soldier didn't flinch. Blood ran down his back and pooled on the flagstones, and the drill continued.
General Jafar. He was bought at 6 years old. Now, he's the most powerful military man in Cordoba. And he wants the throne.
Everybody knows. Nobody says it at dinner parties.
And south of the walls?
Come, there's more.
They took me up a tower. My legs screamed. 6 months since the accident. 3 months of therapy that hadn't finished when the portal ripped me out of my century and dropped me here.
Stairs. Always stairs. Naseem, why couldn't the Sultana build her observation room on the ground floor?
Because you can't observe anything from the ground floor.
You can observe the ground. I love the ground. The ground and I have a beautiful relationship.
The ground is the only thing that would have you.
And yet, she keeps me. Every morning, I fall into her arms, and she catches me.
At the top, windows on every side. Cordoba below us. White buildings, the dark ribbon of the Guadalquivir. The great mosque. And smoke. Too many columns of smoke.
The merchant quarter burns. The Vizier Ibn Jahwar makes deals with every faction while the city tears itself apart. He survived 3 caliphs. He'll survive us too.
Then I looked south. My stomach dropped.
50,000 Berbers, led by a convert from the north named Volstagg, growing every week.
And the only thing between them and this palace is a general who wants to take it himself.
Now you understand.
50,000 outside, 200 elite soldiers inside, loyal to a man who wanted the throne, a 16-year-old caliph caught in the middle, a vizier who'd outlast everyone, and somewhere out in the city, the people I'd come through the portal with, Isabella, Nellie, Santino, scattered across a collapsing civilization, and I was stuck inside a harem pretending to be a eunuch. I needed to find them. But first I needed to survive long enough to look.
The handmaiden Yasmin had come to my chamber again that afternoon, the 3rd time this week, sent by her mistress, Lady Khadija, who was from the Berber alliance. Yasmin wore thin silk and smelled like roses, and bent over my desk to pour tea so I could see everything God gave her. I'm 16. I'm not blind, but I'm also not stupid enough to let a Berber spy into my bed, no matter how good the view. I sent her away. She pouted. They always pouted. Before Yasmin, it was Noor, from the merchant family, who brought me sweets and touched my arm when she laughed. Before Noor, it was Fatima al-Rashid, whose father controlled the grain stores, who wrote me poetry that wasn't terrible. They all wanted the same thing: a knight, then a baby, then a claim. That's how it worked in a harem. You fuck the caliph, you carry his child, and suddenly your family has a stake in the throne. My grandfather had 47 sons by 29 different women. Every one of those women was a political calculation. And then there was Zara. She came after dark, always after dark, through the passage behind the tapestry, barefoot, hair loose. She only wore it loose for me.
You sent Yasmin away again.
She's a spy.
They're all spies, Hisham. I'm a spy too.
You're different.
Am I? Why? Because you like the way I look?
No, because you're the only one who doesn't pretend I'm not a prisoner.
You're not a prisoner.
Then what am I?
You're a boy in a cage who hasn't figured out the door is unlocked.
She sat on the bed, close, her knee against mine, the jasmine oil on her skin, the lamplight on her throat. I was 16 and I had never wanted anything the way I wanted her. Not the throne, not freedom, not air. What door, Zara?
My family has people outside the walls. Men who owe us. Horses, gold, safe passage through the mountains.
Your family has Berber connections. My mother's people say that about you.
My family has connections everywhere. That's how nobody survive. We make ourselves useful to everyone.
So what, we just walk out?
We ride out, east, Damascus, Baghdad. You've read about them your whole life, Hisham. Imagine actually seeing them. Walking through a market where nobody knows your face, where nobody calls you commander of the faithful, or south. The Sahara. Caravans crossing a sea of sand under stars so thick you can't see the dark between them.
Stars.
A merchant and his wife, a scholar and his companion. Nobody. Just us.
What about my servants? If they report me missing before we clear the walls?
I'll handle the servants. The guards at the fruit gate answer to my cousin's purse, not the sultana's. The only problem is getting out of sight long enough to reach the gate.
A distraction.
Something big enough that no one notices you're gone. Until it's too late.
Her hand was on my thigh, her fingers tracing slow circles through the silk. My thoughts were coming apart at the edges. There was a cracked pillar in the great mosque. I'd noticed it months ago. Weak marble, water damage from the cisterns. One good push from a stonemason's chisel, and the whole thing would come down. I told her. She listened with those eyes, those huge, dark, perfect eyes. And when I finished, she kissed me, and my mouth tasted like jasmine, and my hands found her waist, and the silk slid under my fingers, and I stopped thinking entirely. Later, in the dark, she whispered against my neck.
3 days. My people will be ready in 3 days. The new tutor your mother hired will want to take you to the mosque to prove himself. That's our window.
What if people get hurt when the pillar falls?
We'll make sure you're standing clear.
What about everyone else?
Do you want to be free, Hisham? Or do you want to die in this cage?
I should have heard it. The calculation underneath the tenderness. The way she redirected the question instead of answering it. I didn't hear it. I was 16. She was warm against me in the dark, and she smelled like jasmine, and she was the only person in the world who said my name like it belonged to a real person instead of a title. 3 days. 3 days.
Your beard, scholar. It grows thick. You were cut late.
Yes, I was older.
That is unusual. Most of us are taken young, before the voice changes. I was 7. I don't remember my voice ever being deep. I don't remember what it felt like to want a woman. You had that though? A voice, a beard, maybe a woman.
My wife. I had a wife.
Had?
She died 3 years ago.
And then you took the cut?
There was nothing left. After her, no children, no reason to stay whole.
What was her name?
Blanca.
I have tested every man who walks through these gates. Every tutor, every physician, every scholar the Sultana drags in from somewhere. I test them the same way. I watch what they lie about.
And what do they lie about?
Everything. Their credentials, their intentions, their faith, their loyalty. Men lie about God to my face and think I cannot tell. But there is one thing a man cannot lie about. Not to someone like me.
What's that?
Loss. Real loss. The kind that hollows you out. I have lived in this palace for 33 years. I have watched men perform grief. I have watched men perform love. I know the difference. When you said her name, Blanca, your voice did something that cannot be faked. It broke in a place that doesn't heal. I have envied men like you my whole life. Men who knew what it felt like to be whole. But I do not envy you now. To have had love and lost it, I think that is worse than never having it at all. That is why I believe you. Not your story, not your papers, not whatever the Sultana told me about why you're here. I believe you because Blanca was the first truth you've spoken since you walked through these gates. And a man who carries that kind of truth is not the same as a man who carries only lies.
Thank you for asking her name. His shoulders shifted, just slightly. Not an ally, not yet, but a man who might not move against me. In this place, that was worth more than gold.
There is something else, scholar. Something the Sultana may not have told you.
She's told me very little.
The shimmer. It's growing.
The what?
You haven't heard of it.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Since the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, there has been a shimmer to the west, beyond the coast, beyond the edge of the maps. A light in the air where there should be none. It moves like heat of sand, but it is not heat. It is something else.
What is it?
We do not know. No one knows. It grows. Slowly, over generations, but it grows. And it poisons. The land near it dies. Animals flee. The water turns. Men who approach too closely sicken. Their skin blisters. Their minds go wrong. Some come back changed. Most do not come back at all.
And this has been here since?
Since before the Caliphate, since before Al-Andalus. Every Caliph for 300 years has sent an expedition party to study it, to map it, to understand it. Not one of those parties has returned whole. Most have not returned at all.
How have I never heard of this?
We are surprised you haven't. It is not a secret, but it is not something men speak of lightly. It is a wound in the world, and we have learned to live beside it, the way a man lives beside a tumor he cannot cut out.
This is why the Berber territories are swollen with outsiders. Adventurers from every kingdom, vagrants, sellswords, witches, fortune hunters.
They come from across the world to solve the riddle of the shimmer, to be the ones who finally cross into it and return with answers.
And none of them do.
Poison and death.
That is all that awaits those who approach. And still they come. The shimmer draws them the way a flame draws moths. It has made this corner of the world very crowded and very dangerous.
The shimmer. A light to the west that poisoned the land and swallowed anyone who went near it. Expeditions that never returned. Adventurers flooding the Berber territories, chasing something they couldn't understand. I filed it away, deep, behind everything else. Because right now I had a boy king to protect and a palace full of knives pointed at my back. But the shimmer I would come back to. I found Hisham in the garden, throwing stones at a peacock, honeyed almonds untouched, servants fanning him like he was already dead and they were keeping the flies off. And standing behind the Caliph, half in shadow beneath the orange trees, was a woman, unveiled, arms folded, watching me with eyes that didn't blink.
The eunuch scholar, my mother's new toy.
Good morning, Commander of the Faithful.
You say that like you mean it. Everyone else says it like they're choking on shit. Sit down. You're making my neck hurt.
You've met Zara?
I haven't had the pleasure.
Scholar, the Sultana speaks highly of you. She speaks highly of everyone she hires, for a time.
I'll try to last longer than average.
Average here is 3 months. The last tutor drank himself into the cisterns. The one before that simply vanished. No one asked where he went.
Zara, don't scare him off before he teaches me something.
I would never. I'm just being friendly.
So, what wisdom today?
I thought we'd go to the Great Mosque tomorrow. I'd like to show you something about how your ancestors built it.
My ancestors built a lot of things. Other men took them. That's history. Building and taking.
What do you want, Hisham?
What?
Everyone tells you what you should want. I'm asking what you actually want.
Out. I want out of this cage. I want to walk through a market in Damascus where nobody knows my face. I want to see Baghdad. I want to eat food I chose and sleep when I'm tired and fuck who I want to fuck without it being a goddamn political treaty.
Damascus, Baghdad, stars in the Sahara. That's a specific dream.
So?
So it sounds like someone painted it for you.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe not. The guards at the fruit gate. They answer to Vizier Volstag's purse, don't they? Or is it a cousin's purse? I've heard the Vizier has family who manage certain loyalties.
What an odd thing for a eunuch scholar to concern himself with. Gate guards and purses.
I'm a curious man. I like to know who holds what.
My cousin is the Vizier's steward, if that's what you're circling. He manages trade logistics, nothing more. And I'd be careful, scholar, asking questions about my family in front of the Caliph, as though you're implying something.
What is he implying?
Nothing, Habib. He's new. New men ask too many questions, because they don't yet know which questions get you killed.
I meant no offense, Lady Zara.
Of course you didn't. Eunuchs never mean anything. That's what makes them so useful.
Her eyes didn't move from mine. Not once. Hisham didn't see it. He was already reaching for his almonds, bored with the tension he thought was nothing. But I saw it. The flash behind her composure. I'd brushed against something. Her cousin, the gate, the architecture of whatever she was building. And she'd registered me. Not as a scholar, not as a eunuch. As a problem. And problems in the Caliphate didn't last long.
You're just like my mother. You think because I'm 16 I can think for myself. You think I'm stupid.
I don't think you're stupid. I think you're young. And I think the difference between someone who loves you and someone who's using you is very hard to see when you've never had the first one.
Tomorrow, the mosque. Show me something I don't already know, or I'll feed you to the dogs.
He walked away fast. I'd hit something. A nerve he didn't know was exposed. Zara didn't follow him. She stayed, looking at me from beneath the orange trees with a face like polished stone.
You're clever, scholar. Clever men should be careful how brightly they shine. Bright things attract attention in the dark.
Is that a warning?
It's a kindness. I don't give many.
She turned and walked after Hisham. Unhurried, graceful, like a cat that had already decided where to bite and was simply waiting for the right moment. I'd uncovered something, maybe only an edge, but she knew I'd seen it, and that made me a dead man walking. The only question was the timeline. The Great Mosque, 800 columns, red and white arches stacked like frozen waves. Light falling through the upper walls, catching dust. Guards flanked us. 4. Women from the harem near the eastern entrance. 3 of them veiled.
Teach me something, scholar.
The columns. They were salvaged. Roman, Visigoth, 1,000 years old, all different heights. The architects couldn't make them match.
So they stacked them. The double arch.
They invented something new. The lower arch carries the weight. The upper one reaches for the sky. Broken pieces from dead civilizations turned into something nobody had ever seen.
It's actually interesting.
Your ancestors didn't build by tearing down what came before. They built on top of it.
You can't rebuild the past. The men who built this are dead. All we have is stone.
Stone is a start. He was different here. Quieter. The cruelty turned off for once. He looked like a boy thinking instead of performing. Then the sound came. A groan. Deep. Stone failing. The pillar came down. It hit the women first. 3 of them standing near the eastern entrance. They didn't have time to scream. Dust exploded through the mosque. I couldn't see. I couldn't breathe. I threw myself forward, reaching for Hisham.
Hisham!
Nothing. Stone and dust, and the sound of someone dying underneath rubble.
The Caliph! Find him!
We dug. For an hour, we dug. Pulled out the bodies of the 3 women. Pulled out a guard with crushed legs. Pulled out stone after stone after stone. No Hisham. Farouk was on his knees, praying. Nassim stood very still, with a face like the end of the world. The commander of the faithful was dead. 16 years old, crushed under the weight of a building his ancestors had made from broken pieces. That's what I believed. That's what everyone believed.
Through the side door the second the dust hit. It worked. Zara's plan. The stonemason. The chisel in the crack. 5 seconds of chaos, and nobody could see. Through the orange tree courtyard. Shouts from the mosque fading behind me. They dig for hours before they figured out I wasn't under the stone. By then, I'd be miles away. Zara would be at the gate. Her people. Horses. The mountains. Stars so thick you can't see the dark between them. I didn't think about the women who'd been standing near the pillar. I didn't think about the tutor. I thought about Zara's mouth. Her hands. Her voice saying my name. The servants' gate. The fruit gate. I pushed through. And she was there. Zara, it worked. Let's go. Where are the horses?
Hisham, stop.
What? What's wrong? She wasn't dressed for travel. No riding cloak, no pack. She was standing very still, arms at her sides. And behind her, in the gate's shadow, were 3 men. Not her people. Berbers. Armed. Zara, who are they?
There who was always going to be here, Hisham.
No, you said the horses, Damascus. You said...
I know what I said.
Why?
My family. My cousin. We owe debts you can't imagine. Volstagg holds paper on everything we have. Our land, our name, everything. He wanted you delivered. And my family wanted to survive. That's the whole story.
I loved you. Zara, I loved you. Every night you came to me. That was real. Tell me that was real.
I didn't know how to love, Hisham. I don't think anyone ever taught me.
Her voice cracked on my name. Just barely. Just enough that I'll hear it for the rest of my life. I'll never know if it was real or the last performance of a perfect lie.
Enough, the Caliph, as promised.
I am the Caliph. You can't.
That's exactly why we can.
A fist in my stomach. I doubled over, vomited on the flagstones. Another blow across the back of my head. My knees hit stone. Through the blur I saw Zara turn away. She didn't run. She walked. Slow, steady, like someone leaving a room where the conversation was over.
Volstagg sends his regards, little king.
They threw me over a horse. I tasted blood and dust. And the last thing I saw before the hood went over my head was the gate closing behind me. The eunuch said, the difference between someone who loves you and someone who's using you is hard to see. He was wrong. It wasn't hard. It was impossible. Because I'd looked right at it and seen only what I wanted to see.
I sat in the rubble. Dust in my lungs, blood on my hands, stone dust turning to paste on my skin. 3 women dead, a boy king buried, the commander of the faithful gone. 3 weeks I've been inside these walls. 3 weeks of learning the corridors and counting the loyalties and mapping every move. I was supposed to protect him. That was the deal. Teach the boy, protect the boy, and in return the Sultana would help me find the people I'd lost. Isabella, Nelly, Santino. Somewhere in this collapsing world. And I'd failed the only person standing between me and finding them. Nassim stood beside me, silent. We watched the guards carry the bodies out of the mosque. 3 women who'd been alive an hour ago, whose names I didn't even know. In 3 weeks, I'd learned every corridor and every guard rotation and every faction's angle. I'd mapped the whole palace in my head, and I'd missed the simplest thing in the world. A boy in love, running toward the one person who was going to destroy him. The sound of boots on broken marble. A dozen men, maybe more, coming fast. Jafar came through the dust like a man who'd been waiting for this moment his entire life. His robes were clean, not a speck of debris. He hadn't been anywhere near the collapse. He'd been somewhere safe, watching, timing his entrance. And walking one step behind him, head bowed, hands clasped. Farouk, who'd been on his knees praying 5 minutes ago, who'd wept when we couldn't find Hisham, who was now standing at the right hand of the man who'd just walked in with chains.
Seize the eunuch. What? Antonio, scholar, tutor to the Caliph. You are charged with conspiracy in the murder of the commander of the faithful, Hisham III, and the destruction of the great mosque of Cordoba.
I was with him. I was trying to protect him.
You brought the boy to the mosque. You positioned him near the weakened pillar. 3 women are dead. The Caliph is dead. And you, a foreigner, a man no one had heard of 3 weeks ago, are the only one who walked out without a scratch.
Guards grabbed my arms, wrenched them behind my back, iron around my wrists. Cold. I looked at Farouk. He wouldn't meet my eyes. Farouk, tell them, you know I didn't do this. You were there.
I saw what I saw, scholar. You took the Caliph to the mosque, and the Caliph did not come back.
The Sultana's pet project. A eunuch tutor with no history, no family, no name anyone can verify. How convenient, how perfectly placed.
They dragged me through the rubble, Past the bodies, past the blood, past Nasim, who stood still as stone and said nothing at all.
Take him to the cells. He will answer for what happened here. Every question, every secret, until we have the truth, or he has nothing left to give.
The last thing I saw before they pulled me into the dark was Jafar's face. Not angry, not grieving, smiling. The faintest curl at the corner of his mouth. He'd known. Before the dust settled, before the bodies were cold, he'd known exactly what happened, and he'd come ready to hang it on me. The cell door closed, iron on stone. The dark swallowed him.